pre-dawn light was just beginning to push away the darkness when my eyes opened. I stretched and rolled out of bed, stepped into my slippers, and headed to the bathroom. I sat down to take care of the pressing matter of my bladder as my trusty companion, Yellowcat, followed me into the bathroom. He rubbed up against my shin as I reached down to stroke his yellowish-orange tabby fur and said, "Good morning, Yeller. How'd you sleep?" "Morning. I didn't sleep well. You tossed and turned all night and kept me awake." I shrieked. "What?" Yeller jumped back and furrowed his brows and said, "Oh my, what's got into you?" I shrieked again. "What's happening? Where's your meow? What on earth are you talking about? I always talk this way. Why are you yelling?" Bathroom duties completed, I picked up my now skitterish cat and declared, "I understand you, Yeller. I've understood you the entire time. And I always thought you understood me, too. You didn't?" "No, I only heard your meows, but I watched your body to understand what you were saying." "What is a meow? What are you talking about?" I tucked Yeller under my arm and headed to the front door to let the dogs out and explained, "Your voice sounded like a meow to me, but suddenly I can hear your voice and understand what you were saying. It's wonderful." I rubbed his head and asked, "What do you like to be scratched?" "I love your belly rubs. They're the best." "But I love when you hold me too," he purred and continued. "I didn't know you couldn't understand me, so I have a question. Do you always yell when I bring you... Why do you always yell when I bring you a special treat, like a mouse or a bird? And why don't you eat them?" "Oh," I said, "I knew you were trying to do something special for me, but humans prefer our food cooked." I rolled him over to scratch his belly and continued, "Thank you for every gift you've ever brought me." We had reached the front door, and I needed to let Leaf and Dakota go potty. I tucked Yeller under one arm, opened the door with the other, and called out, "Leaf, Dakota, come on, girls, let's go potty." The dogs came trotting to the door as Leaf said in her sweet, dainty voice, "I don't know why she always says that. She never goes potty with us." Dakota responded in her deep, robust voice, "Who knows? I just got to go pee." I thought she had forgotten us with that, being so wrapped up talking to the cat. She hit my leg as she ran by me and blurted out, "Excuse me, I gotta go." Laughter bubbled out as I marveled at my surprising new gift. A lifelong animal lover, I had prayed for this my entire life. I am so thankful God still answers prayer.
So it's a cute story, right? Everybody agree about that?
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah. It's really cute. So
Thank you. Thank you.
any of you want to offer anything? How did we do that last time? Didn't I have you each tell what you thought about it?
Mm-hmm.
How it hit you or whatever? So Suroa, you go.
Can you wait a second?
Sure.
Can you stop sharing so that I can take notes? Because I'd really like to write these notes down. And I do it, on my computer while we talk.
It might be better for you to come back and watch it again.
Oh, that's true. It would. Never mind. I'll take notes. I'll just write notes.
Okay. So go ahead, Sue.
Well, I could picture I could just visualize everything that was happening really well. I really love that part of it. And I love your exchange back and forth a lot. And I love how you bring the dogs into it too. That's funny. And I don't know, I just enjoyed the whole thing very much. I just see little changes where you yourself stopped because you knew something, it didn't flow. You said things that you didn't write.
Yep.
A little bit differently, but it was really charming. Really liked it a lot.
Thank you.
Good. Okay, Sarah.
Well, I loved it because it could have been me. I talk to my animals all the time. And I always imagine them talking back to me. So to me, this was just totally delightful because
Oh,
it was like, oh, somebody else talks to her animals.
yep.
I might have known you would, Kristi. I might have known. I'd like to be with you out in the pasture when you talk to your horses.
Oh, sometimes you might not. Sometimes I'm not very nice to my horses. Sometimes I cuss. I don't ever cuss at my little pets, but sometimes the horses like knock me around and I try not to cuss. I try not real hard.
That was good. How about you, Sue Halvorsen?
Yes, I loved it. I always love animal stories, but I could totally see the cat, especially when you're in the beginning, you know. Yeller jumped back and frowed his burrs. I could see my cats doing that. And Scott's really good at, he always says the voice of our puppies, and he's so good at it. And it makes
Great.
everybody just laugh, you know, it's almost like he's reading their mind and speaking. So it reminded me of that a lot too. So I got a good laugh out of it. I was like, this is really cool.
Oh, yay. You guys are just making my day. Thank you.
It's a great story, and we are definitely your audience because all of us love animals. We all love animal stories. So you got your target audience, which is really cool. And you grabbed us right away. So those are really good things. And it's a really strong piece. I was especially delighted because it's tighter than most anything I've seen you write before. Did you guys notice 499 words? You see that up there?
Yeah.
Yes.
that was
She
great.
really stuck to what I said.
I went back and cut out stuff because I was not going to go over 500 words.
So it's really interesting because Kristi and I were talking about this earlier today, and she really has trouble sticking with a theme when she's writing her own story. And it seemed to me like when she's writing a fiction story, it was really easy for her to stick to it and keep things in sequence and not get too many things going. And that was a real interesting observation. So I don't know if I'm hoping maybe we can get that from your fiction writing to your nonfiction.
I hope so too. And it's so interesting how it's so, and I went back after our talk today, I went back and I looked at them. It's so glaring, the difference. I'm so thankful for this assignment. I did not think I could write a fiction piece. I didn't think I had that creativity in my mind. This was so easy for me. It was just like click, 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 click. It was done. I went back, I edited it, and I went right down what the parameters that she laid out for us. It's been such a great thing for me, Sandy, and even more so as a learning piece against my other work. My other work now is like, oh my God, no wonder it drives Sandy nuts. So wordy.
So I don't know about driving me nuts, but so let me show you now. What is the first thing that I would look at? What would I look for in editing this?
The real world.
And anybody can say this, the real world, but even before that, there's one word.
Structure.
Sequence. And Kristi has good sequence for the most part. There's a couple of places where you're a little bit out of sequence. And I'll point those out, okay? But that is always the first thing I look for, sequence. And one of the reasons I look for sequence, because when you get out of sequence, sometimes is because you've got off on another topic. So when you're looking for sequence, you will find that, okay? Then the second thing I look for is, do you have the real world? Do you have the inciting incident? Do we know who the main character is? You know, do they have an object of desire? And then at the end, what is the new real world? That kind of thing. So there are some problems in that area, but they're easily fixed. For the most part, your sequence was really good. so, but there's one thing that you did that I don't particularly like, and everybody else may disagree with me. But I'll tell you why, okay? And it's a really easy fix. So the pre-dawn light was just beginning to push away the darkness when my eyes opened. I stretched and rolled out of bed, stepped into my slippers, and headed to the bathroom. I sat down to take care of the pressing matter of my bladder as my trusty companion. We asked you to, you have created a scene for us, right?
Yeah, I'm sitting on the pot.
Yeah, and we're all on the pot with you, and I don't want to be there.
You don't want to be there?
I really
Roger
don't.
that. I get that now.
But that's something to consider. What scene are you putting, right?
Yeah.
It's a super easy fix, super easy. Because for one, you also have a lot of things going on. The pre-dawn light was just beginning to push away the darkness when my eyes opened. I stretched and rolled out of bed and stepped into my slippers.
Oops, and yeah.
I would put and I
Yep,
would
I get
leave
it.
that off. Look what would happen. And
Very cool.
then that's when Yeller Cat can rub against your shin.
Yeah. And I don't have to take you into the potty with me.
See?
Mhm.
And he doesn't
Yeah.
follow you. Yeller Cat rubbed against my shin. That's what we want. Yeller Cat. Now we're right there at the bed, right?
Yeah.
And you can reach down, you can just go right on it. You don't have to change anything else.
Huh, sure enough.
See how easy that was? And
Yeah.
now you have more words you can add. So there's some places where I'd actually like to add words. So now we took out quite a few right there.
Yeah.
So
You got to put back in rubbed.
yeah, I was just going to do that. Yeller Cat, and it's always good to read out loud, because when you read out loud, you catch where you're going to stumble. And a lot of
No,
times,
and I've read it out loud several times, but I get nervous when I'm reading in front of you girls. And that's when I really catch where I've got problems, is because then I really stumble because I'm a little nervous.
okay.
So interesting to me but I've realized that I do that.
So Yeller Cat rubbed against my shin as I reached down to stroke, and I felt like this was yellowish orange tabby fur. I
Many?
wouldn't use that much.
I
do,
wondered.
one or the other. His orange tabby fur, his yellowish tabby fur, but not four things.
Okay.
So I would take one of those out and said, "Good morning, Yeller. How'd you sleep?" "Morning. I didn't sleep well. You tossed and turned all night and kept me awake." Now here's out of sequence. I shrieked. That should be after what? Can you girls see that?
Yes, it should.
It should be after, because she has to shriek first. What? I
Yep.
shrieked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, it's glaring when you point that out, isn't it?
And now
Wow.
that you can have more words, I would have something here. He looked, "How did you sleep?" "He looked up at me." "Morning. I didn't sleep well." See, have an action.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That would just make it a little more,
Well, and it creates, we don't have me on the pot anymore. So now he needs to look up at me so that we expand that scene a little bit. That makes
Yeah.
perfect sense.
What? I shrieked. Yeller jumped back and furrowed his brows. He does, and you don't need, and said,
Oh, sure enough.
see, take that out.
Yep.
Oh my, what's got into you? I love it. I just love that. I shrieked
again.
And it's okay to have it first this time, because
It is.
It is. I would probably not if it were me, but it's okay if you want to. But I would say, "What's happening? Where's your meow?" I'd probably just leave that out. See?
Okay. Yeah.
"What's happening? Where's your meow?" "What on earth are you talking about? I always talk this way. Why are you yelling?" And here you can just take this out. Bathroom duties completed. I picked up my now skitterish cat and declared, I understand you, Yeller. And I would have an action here. How's he looking at you? You know,
Oh, yeah.
he pushed against me with his paws. I've
Yeah.
understood you the entire time. You know, something like that. See,
Right. Yeah.
it's just tightening it up and making it, you're right in the scene. It's so great. So I'm just going to put that in there. He pushed his paws against me. I've understood you the entire time. And I always, you did add the I, so I'm going to add it. I always thought you understood me, and you didn't like that too there, so I'm taking it out. And I always thought you understood me. You didn't? No, I only heard your meows. Okay, where am I? Lost? But I watched your body to understand. Okay,
I don't
here,
like but. I don't like that.
this is an awkward sentence. No, I only heard your meows, but I watched your body language.
Oh, yep. 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 Much better.
It's the same thing.
Mhm.
Yep.
Shorter.
Yep.
What is it? And here again would be a nice little thing. His
Cocked his
say
head.
something about his eyes. What
Yeah.
his yellow eyes? Are they yellow? What are they? Forgot.
No, they're more green.
His green eyes widened.
Oh, yeah. What is a meow?
Widened. I don't know how to spell it. Okay. Is that it? Really? It doesn't look right. Okay. What is a meow? What are you talking about? I tucked Yeller under my arm and headed to the front door. Here's another out of sequence place.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
And I really stumbled over that. Yeah.
when you said to let the dogs out, we already saw the dogs go out.
Yeah.
See? So
Yeah.
it's easy. I tucked Yeller under my arm and headed to the front door. If any of you have something you want to add, go ahead, let me know. Your voice sounded like a meow to me, but suddenly I can hear your voice and understand what you're saying. And you probably want this. You've been using contractions, so I would do it again here. It's wonderful. I rubbed his head and asked, where do you like to be scratched? I love this part. I love your belly rubs. They're the best, but I love when you hold me too. He purred and continued. I didn't know you couldn't understand me. And you could just put he purred. He purred. I didn't know you couldn't understand me.
Yep. Okay.
So I have a question. Why do you always yell when I bring you a special treat like a mouse or a bird? And why don't you eat them? Oh, I'm sorry. I knew you were trying to do something special for me, but humans prefer food cooked. Cooked food, I think I would put. I think you stumbled over that a little bit too. Humans prefer cooked food. I rolled him over to scratch his belly. Thank you for every gift you've ever brought me. So you don't need to tell us.
Right. And continued. Right. Exactly.
Period there and then say it. We had reached the front door and I needed to let Leaf and Dakota out to go potty. Now this one's okay because the potty here is funny.
Okay.
Okay, and we're not in the bathroom with you.
Okay.
You girls have to know this. When I decided, you know, I'm going to save this. I don't want to lose what we've done. Just a minute. Save as pet talk after Sandy. So I was thinking, Kristi, you can't take us into the bathroom with you. And the very next thing I saw on the internet was a story about how a singer wrote his song in the bathroom.
Well, there you go.
I thought, okay, well, if Kristi wants to insist on it, she can have it.
Anyone with a
I
cat.
personally didn't want to go in there with you, but
Oh, that's so
it's fun
funny.
to see that singer, and people actually go to that building and that bathroom to see it.
That's funny. Did you say,
Anyone with a
Sarah?
cat, though, is used to the cat going into the bathroom.
They're
My
like a little
cat.
kid. They just follow you right in there.
And
Yeah,
it's
they
true,
do.
and that really is true, but we really don't want to be with you while you're doing your business. I don't think most of us do anyway. And it works so well without it, you know. If it had to be there, then I would say go ahead and use it. But if it doesn't, then
Yeah.
look it for more people, you know.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
It's okay for you guys, but not everybody out in the world.
so now that we didn't say that you were going to the door to let the dogs out, it's not out of sequence now. It would
Okay.
have been out of sequence because the dog, you know, here where you're going to let them out. But now this is the first time we know that's why you're going to the door.
Okay.
So I tucked Yeller under one arm, opened the door with the other, and called out, "Leaf, Dakota, come on, girls, let's go potty." The dogs came trotting to the door as Leaf said in her sweet, dainty voice, "I don't know why she always says that. She never goes potty with us." That just really cracked me up. And I love that you gave them two different voices.
Mhm.
Dakota responded in her deep, robust voice. "Who knows? I just gotta go pee." I thought she had forgotten us with her being so wrapped up talking to the cat. Now you did stumble over this, so we might wanna, I thought she'd forgotten us. I would think this needs to be tightened up. Anybody got any ideas on that one? I just gotta go pee. I thought she had forgotten us.
Well, just she was so wrapped up talking to the cat
Yeah.
and put a
Forgotten us.
period
She was
after
so wrapped
forgotten
up.
us.
I think I like Sarah's idea.
I do too.
She was so wrapped up talking to the cat. Yeah, I like that. I think
I
it's
like that too.
easier flow.
Yeah.
Okay. Dakota respond. Dakota hit my, I would put her name back here.
Okay.
Mhm.
Dakota hit my leg as she ran by me and blurted out, "Excuse me, gotta go." And I would leave off the
Oh,
I.
take out the I. Yeah, I like that. Oh, better, much better. Gotta go.
That makes it a lot faster. Shorter,
Yeah.
choppier sentences make for faster movement.
Yep.
Laughter bubbled out. Now, you're not going to like me for this. This didn't work for me. Laughter bubbled out as I marveled at my surprising new gift. As a lifelong animal lover, I had prayed for this my entire life. I'm so thankful God still answers prayer. I do not like that as the takeaway of this story.
Huh. Okay.
And we don't really have the new real world. And that's, I'll show you this, okay? But I just don't like that. God does answer prayer all the time, but not like this.
Oh, that's true. He doesn't. That is very true, Sandy.
And so I feel like theologically you could
It's
be
incorrect. Right? It's incompatible.
But
Oh.
let's go back and look at the power of story, right? So what is the real world here? Anybody can tell me?
An ordinary morning.
Yeah, it is an ordinary morning for Kristi, isn't it?
Mhm.
Okay, and we don't need a comma here. I'm just cleaning up some little things while I'm there. See, I have Grammarly, so it marks things for me. Well, you do too. You have spell check. So don't ignore spell check. This one's here, but it doesn't need to be. Yeller, you know, we're going to spell it that way because that's the way Kristi spells yeller cat. Normally it's with an E. I don't know if you know that, Kristi.
Yeah, but I want him different because he's unique.
Well, and yeller with the E is about yelling. So I like the way you have it.
Okay.
I think it's a neat name, so I didn't change that. So it's an ordinary morning. She's getting up and her cat's there and he's always there. And so we know that. We do not know much more about your world. We don't know if you're in the town or in the country. So you could put a little bit more in. We all know you live in the country, so we can see where you are. But that's because we know. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would put just a little bit more on in. It wouldn't take much,
Okay.
you know, somewhere so that we know where we are, that we're in the,
Out in the sticks.
yeah, I want to know that we're in the country. I want to know that it's a farm or a ranch, you know, something to put that in there. And somewhere in here you can do that, I'm sure. And yellow cat rubbed up against my shin. So what is the inciting incident?
The cat talking?
Yes,
Yeah,
very
maybe.
good, Sue. But what object of desire did it give her?
Wanting to be able to do it more.
It enabled her to understand her cat.
Yeah.
I don't feel
Yeah.
like the object of desire is clear here.
It's not.
Hmm.
So that's what's missing at the end. That's why you were struggling with the end.
Okay.
You're
But
still
you had a different end. I haven't seen it yet, but you've had a different end. How did you end it the first time?
I don't know. I have it. Well, I can't see it because all I see is your page.
Oh, do you girls need to see it now, or you want me to? I can stop sharing and I'm going to stop sharing and let Kristi look for that.
Do I have it open? I don't think I have it open.
Is she
I have
ready?
the other one, but not that one. So hang on.
And we don't know what the new real world is. You girls see that? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
We don't know the object of desire, and we don't know the new real world. And that's when what happens is we end up with what's called a contrived ending. That used to be a big problem of mine, Kristi. It probably still is, but I work on it.
What is a contrived ending?
It means that you got to figure out something to throw in there to make this story mean something,
Mhm.
where it should mean it on its own. And it will, if you have the object of desire in there correctly, it will. It'll just come out. So this is one of the hardest things to understand. But if you get it, it's going to make everything go so well. So, Sarah, do you have any ideas on this?
Well, I think every animal owner wishes that they could talk to their animals and understand what's going on in the animal's mind, because so often we're in a situation where, for example, if an animal is sick, even a veterinarian largely is guessing at what's wrong. And so it is an amazing gift to be able to talk to the animal.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to go back to share, Kristi.
Okay. Okay. And unfortunately, the one that I saved still had this, or already had this same ending. I didn't save it with the other ending. So that's
Okay, that's okay. We're going to, Sarah got me on the right track.
okay.
Thanks, Sarah. So here's the thing. You get down here, laughter bubbled out as I marveled at my surprising new gift. This is it. It's not about the answer to prayer. It's about that God gave you a new gift. You can understand animals.
That is it. That is it.
Yeah,
That's
you
good.
can understand animals. What are you going to do with this new gift?
That's good. Yeah, Kristi, what are you gonna do?
Wow.
I want to, we
Habit.
want to know.
I'd
That's
love to
what
know
the
that again.
story is, see?
Yeah.
And there might be little things that you'll put throughout to lead us up to that, because I mean, we don't just, I mean, this is a little quick. Okay, that's what I'm seeing now. Now
Mhm.
that we know that's, okay, the inciting incident is your animal talking to you. What object of desire does it give you?
It's given me my object of desire. It's given me the ability to understand my animals.
Yeah, but let's say,
I'm trying to think.
let's think about this as it actually happens. Everybody think about this, okay? You're sitting on your bed and your cat jumps up and talks to you. You're going to do like Kristi. What? And then he jumps back and furrows his brows. Oh my, what's got into you? What's happening? Where's your meow? What on earth are you talking about? I always talk this way. Why are you yelling? I picked up my now skitterish cat and declared, I understand you, Yeller. So this is all about this new thing that's happening, right?
Yeah.
Push his paws against me. I've understood you the entire time. And I always thought you understood me. You didn't? No, I only heard your meows, but I watched your body language. His green eyes widened. What is a meow? What are you talking about? Right here. And the girls caught this. I heard them. This is too soon. Not what you would do.
That is not what I would do. I would be so engrossed in talking to the cat about this amazing new gift.
Yeah, this is where your object of desire should come in. And part of this is because you were trying to stick to my 500 words.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll give you that. But right here is where now it's like, is this a new gift? Can I understand all animals? Or is this just yellow cat? I mean, you tell us, you put it in there. I'm going to let you write it. But this is where it would happen. This is your object of desire. And then when you let the dogs out and you understand them too, you're going to go, wow, this is a great gift.
Yeah.
And now your new real world is, what are you going to do with this new gift of being able to understand animals?
And that works perfectly with if she lets people know that she lives on a ranch.
Yes.
And has other animals.
Yeah, that's why it's so important, that real world.
Wow.
Now she's going to go out and see if her horses, if she can understand them and all these other animals. Boy, this is going to be a great day because she's going to find out. And now you have a chapter of a book.
Yeah, because her inciting incident, or no, the new real world, or the object of desire, could that be wanting to experience new worlds through the animals? Like, because she'll have new experiences because they can talk to her.
Yeah, her object of desire, when she starts listening to her cat, her object of desire is understanding not just her cat, but all animals. And can she keep this gift? Is this a gift she's going to be able to keep? Is it for a short time? What, right? So her object of desire is to find out just how good this gift is. What can she do with it? So right here in this scene, that's what her object of desire is. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
It does. Yeah.
So then her new real world is the next step. What is the next step she's going to take after this? And if you're writing a story all by itself, that step is going to be pretty final, and I can show you more. Oh man, it's 7:29.
Oh my gosh.
Fun.
It is fun. When I go through Sue's, I can show you how that works. Halvorsen's.
My mind is going crazy, Kristi, because I could see all kinds of stories coming out of this. I'm like, oh my God, because you can understand animals, they could tell you things, what's happening to your neighbors, and you know what I mean? You could go on detective thing. I mean, I could see this going all over the place. You could have a lot of fun with a lot
Oh
of
man,
different stories.
this is so amazing. This is so cool. Oh, I love you guys so much.
Yeah, you could do a lot with this. This is,
Mhm.
I'm very impressed. And you saw how easy, you girls all saw how easy that was to fix.
Yeah.
One of the reasons is because the sequence was pretty close. We also knew who the main character was, right? And we know the place, although part of the reason we know the place is we know you. So that's got to be put in there. We
Yeah.
have to understand where this is. But and when you see Sue's story, you'll understand. I'm going to do a little bit of Sue's if you girls don't mind. It'll take us a little bit over. Is that okay with you?
Mhm.
I'm totally good with that.
So I can show you how that works, because Sue's story has that in there. And when you see it, then it'll help you understand yours. And Sue, I think it'll help you to understand when you see hers in light of what yours did, why that worked.
Mhm.
So Sue Halvorsen's has the object of desire in it really strongly. So it has all that power story in there. And so when you see that, then when you get that in yours, it'll make it work. So remember I told you girls that I use the power story, I also use it to fix things. I can always find out what's wrong by what's missing.
Mhm.
Right.
So we saw that the object of desire and the new real world were missing. And that showed us that only one line, this line here, just didn't work. That was contrived. That was you trying to make sense out of this.
Yeah,
Having it.
trying to tie it all in together. Yeah.
And
I have a
And I
question.
added
Sandy.
it late. I did.
What?
I have a
Sue?
question. Now, is the main character Kristi or the cat?
That's a good question. It is Kristi.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It is, because she's telling the story and she's the one.
Okay.
But the cat is a very big character. You know, you have supporting characters.
Mhm.
Like in my Shaman's Fire, Selah is the main character, but Kadai Thunderhorse is in there as much as she is, because he's her supporting character.
Okay.
So that is a supporting character, and this cat is a supporting character. So
I'm a cat. This is
I don't know what the antagonist is. I don't think we have an antagonist other than if she's afraid she'll lose this gift, is it for a short time, then she better get busy, you know, while she
Yes.
still has it. So the antagonist would actually be time, you know, might lose it, that kind of thing, because she didn't know how long she's going to keep it. But I don't feel like I'm missing anything by not understanding what the antagonist is. The story is very strong.
Well, the antagonist would be everybody else in the world who would think she was absolutely nuts.
Yeah, that is true.
That's what I was thinking. I would want to run and go tell somebody. That would be my first reaction. I would have to tell somebody. So, you know,
So
it's just
Sue's got a really good thing there. Now, this might be next or whatever, but see, this would be following, remember the series of conflicts and resolves?
Mhm.
So her first resolve would be, I got to tell somebody. So she goes and tells somebody, and then they don't react the way she expects. That's the next problem, right? And you go
Right.
all the way up until she finally becomes an animal whisperer and the whole world loves her. Or she becomes a science project and she has to hide out because everybody wants to figure out how she did this.
Everybody thinks I'm insane.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can go with it, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
she'll decide after meeting with her friend that now I'm going to keep it a secret. So remember how I told you that there's an object of desire for each scene. There's one for
Yep.
each chapter. There's one for the whole book. So as you go through a book, your chapters are those resolves and the conflict and resolve, conflict and resolve. Right now, we don't really have any conflict. So conflict drives the story.
Yeah.
But this is a delightful story, and I just really like it. So my son's going to come anytime. If he comes, I'm going to have to stop, but I do want to share Sue's, okay? I'm going to stop share until I get it up. I think I have it up actually. And I think it'll help for you all to see Earl the bullfrog of walnut metal. And I was going to show you the changes we made, but so I think instead of that tonight, I'm just going to show you. I'm going to do it after we made our changes. We didn't make a whole lot of changes. So I'm going to share this one. Okay, share screen. Share. And here's Earl the bullfrog. I'm going to make it bigger so you girls can see it. Okay. So I don't know, you didn't get to hear this, I don't think, Kristi. So once upon a time in the whimsical land of walnut metal, there lived a mischievous huge frog named Earl. Earl was no ordinary frog. He had a knack for finding trouble and a smile that could brighten even the gloomiest day. So we are in the real world. See, that's his real world. And starting with once upon a time lets us know this is a fantasy story, right? And probably for children, right? Just a tone of voice. But it's a whimsical land. And the main character is Earl, who is no ordinary frog. And now we even get the one night this is happening, one magical night when the full moon painted the sky with its silver glow. Earl hopped through the meadow, his eyes sparkling with excitement. As Earl made his way through the meadow and into the tall pines, the night critters began to emerge. I just saw another thing, Sue. We don't need as Earl made his way through the meadow, as Earl made his way into the tall pines.
Yeah.
Because we already have him going through the meadow.
Okay.
But the night critters began to emerge. You can see all this, right?
Yeah.
As Earl passed, the critters began whispering and giggling, casting secret glances his way. The bats fluttered down from the treetops with their wings glimmering in the moonlight. The leader of the night critters. So this gives us a beautiful, this is the real world. We know what's going on. And now we're wondering why all these critters are whispering and giggling, right? And they're throwing glances his way. So we've got a little bit of suspense going. The leader of the night critters, a wise old owl named Oliver, flew down from a branch and perched on a stump. He looked at Earl with a twinkle in his eyes and said, "Earl, my lad, we have a special challenge for you tonight. Are you ready?" This is the inciting incident. Right there.
Yeah.
We have a special challenge for you tonight. Are you ready? Earl's heart skipped a beat and his eyes widened. He nodded, eager to prove himself as the mischievous frog of walnut metal. What is his object of desire? Don't answer, Sue. Everybody else can.
I know, I'm trying.
To prove himself as the most mischievous frog.
Yeah, his name, to prove his name, his
Yes.
reputation.
Yeah, he wanted to prove himself.
Yeah, he actually said so. He wants to prove himself as the mischievous frog of walnut metal. What does he have to do that? We don't know what exactly it is yet, do we?
He's successful with the challenge. That's all we know.
He has to take this special challenge. And he's already nodded without even knowing what it is. See? Tonight, Earl, Oliver announced, you have to sneak up on the grumpiest desert toad in the meadow, Mr. Grumblebottom, and give him a good tickle on his warty nose. Gasps and chuckles filled the air as the critters eagerly anticipated Earl's daring task. Comes right out and tells you this is a daring task, okay? Earl's legs wobbled, but he puffed out his chest and accepted the challenge. So this is what he has to do. He has to sneak up on Mr. Grumblebottom and tickle his warty nose. Determined to bring laughter to even the grumpiest of toads. So this is his big chief aim. He likes to bring laughter. So whatever he does, it has to bring laughter, right?
Mhm.
He's told us that. So now we even know more about his object of desire. He wants to prove himself as the mischievous frog of walnut meadow, but he also wants to bring laughter. So Earl hopped and leaped through the meadow, using every bit of stealth he could muster. He could hear the crickets cheering him on, their chirps sounding like a lively chorus. Finally, Earl reached Mr. Grumblebottom's favorite rock. The toad was known for his grumpy nature, his bulbous eyes, and his croaky voice that could startle even the bravest critters. Earl took a deep breath and steadied himself. Just as he was about to tickle Mr. Grumblebottom's nose, the toad let out an enormous snore. Startled, Earl stumbled backward, landing right in a patch of sticky mud. Mud splattered everywhere, covering Earl from head to toe. The critters stifled their laughter as Earl looked like a walking mud sculpture. Earl's eyes widened and he grinned. He realized that even though his plan hadn't worked, he had unintentionally created the funniest fight in Walnut Meadow. The critters burst into laughter, unable to contain their amusement. So see, he didn't accomplish what he went out to try to do, but he did get his object of desire. He made them all laugh, right? And then
Yep.
it gets even more because Mr. Grumblebottom woke up, rubbing his eyes, and saw Earl covered in mud. Instead of getting angry, he chuckled and said, "Well, well, Earl, you've managed to make me laugh. You truly are the master of mischief." Isn't that great?
That is fabulous.
Now we have the new real world. From that day on, Earl became the beloved jester of Walnut Meadow. His mud-covered antics and infectious laughter brought joy and enchantment to all the critters. Earl's mischievous misadventures became legendary, and even the grumpiest toads couldn't help but smile whenever he was around. Even the friendly bats chirped excitedly. They swooped and swirled, creating magical patterns in the night sky. And we have all the same animals we started with. See how it brings it full circle?
Mm-hmm.
And then, this is a great paragraph. Walnut Meadow continues to be a place of laughter, friendship, and endless enchantment, all thanks to the mischievous frog named Earl, who taught everyone that sometimes the best laughter comes from the most unexpected moments. This is called a takeaway. That's the takeaway of the story. Sometimes the best laughter comes from the most unexpected moments. So if this is a children's story, it's letting children know that even though you do things wrong, even though they don't turn out right sometimes, you can just laugh about it. And that's a good thing, right?
Mhm.
Right.
So that's a takeaway. If you can get that in there, that is wonderful. Now, Sue added something because she's putting this story with some other people's stories. And also, if she writes a set of books or a book with longer chapters, this would take you into the next chapter. And so, under the glow of the full moon, with laughter echoing through the trees, Earl and his friends went to sleep while the bats continued to fly in the moonlit sky, waiting for the next whimsical adventure in the tall pines surrounding Walnut Meadow.
Wow.
See, that opens it up to more creatures coming in or more stories. See? That's like, so Kristi, if you can follow this format with your story, you will have the same thing.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
So I think it's very easily seen in it. So Sue Halvorsen, I was trying, I also want to teach your girls how to model, not copy, but model. So this might help you, Sue Halvorsen, to see how Kristi could take this and use it with her story.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that, very much so.
So, so what I would do then is with the cat, you know, if you can come up with these things, like, okay, anyway, if you can fill in, you have similar things happen, like you're going to have the new real world, and you're going to have how it's going to be from now on, and you're going to have a takeaway. See, does that make sense?
Yes,
So you've
absolutely.
got a takeaway here. Sometimes the best laughter comes from the most unexpected moments. You've got the new real world. From that day on, Earl became the beloved jester. That's the new real world. And then you have this is a transition to the next story, this last paragraph. And so
Yeah.
under the glow of the full moon, this is what's happening, you know, and there's more stories to come. But remember that she started off very good with real world right here, 2 paragraphs of it. Do you remember how many words this was, Kristi? It's 579 right now.
Mine, 579, right?
Yeah, 579. So it's longer than what I said, but this is a great story.
Mhm.
And if you need more words, take it. Like I told you, girls, if you're on assignment for a magazine, you really need to stick pretty close. You can go over a little bit, but not a lot. But if it takes more, and it really takes more, then I would say go with the story and sell it somewhere else. You know, so this one, I wouldn't cut it. There's the places where you could, and it would still be a good story, but I don't suggest doing that. I think it's a good story. There's just like that one place I showed you, Sue, but for the most part, I would leave everything in. What do you girls think?
Absolutely.
I would leave everything. I think it's fantastic.
It's a
Thanks.
wonderful story. Both you girls did a great job. All of you girls did a great job.
Good word pictures.
Yeah, wonderful word pictures. And it flows and it draws you into the story. It's fabulous.
So I think you can do all this with your cat story. Your cat story is wonderful, but I think it can be even better,
Yeah, I think so too.
especially if you get these pieces in that need to go, you know, get the new real world in, get the real world strong so we know we're on your ranch,
Okay.
and get the new real world in, get the object of desire in. At that place where I showed you, instead of picking up Yeller Cat and going to the door, what would you really do? Think about it. You know, I do like the dogs in there. I do want that still in there. But what would you do first? And get your object of desire in there.
Okay.
Like maybe you just talk about, I've got to share this with somebody. You know, you might
Yeah.
even talk about it, and that could be the next story, but that would be your object of desire, that you've got to share it with somebody. Are you girls seeing that, how that could work?
Mhm.
So she's thinking, she could be thinking that, you know, I got to share it with Sue. Sue's going to love this. But then again, is Sue going to think I'm nuts? You know, I mean, you could, you know, get some suspense going, right?
Right.
And
But it does. And then it sets it up for the next one too.
yeah, it does. And so then your new real world is, oh my goodness, not only can I understand Yellow Cat, Dakota, and you know, you got to
Right.
get that in there. You can understand them, and like, oh, is this thing going to last, or is it for a short time? I better use it while I have it. You know, you could go all kinds of ways with it.
Yeah.
And that could be your takeaway. Can you girls see how that could lead into a takeaway?
Mhm.
I
So
don't. You got to explain that one to me.
your new gift is being able to understand animals. You're not going to wait till everything's perfect. You're going to use it while you have it.
Mhm.
Oh, that's
Don't,
good.
don't wait for the perfect moment. Use it while you have it. That could be your takeaway, something like that.
Right.
This is fun.
Yes.